Hey everyone, it's Frederick Kramer here, and in today's video I basically wanted to just throw as much of the objection handling stuff in sales that I learned in the past year into as little minutes as possible. So probably there's going to be like a 5 to 10 minute video on just objection handling in sales. And the reason why that's of course really important is because that's going to be the main thing, the main skill that you need to learn in order to basically double, maybe even triple the sales conversion rate that you have, because most people are going to, like most prospects on calls, are going to give you objections, and there's only a small portion that is actually not going to give you any that you can simply close. And yeah, let's get right into that. So first of all, of course, we need to understand what is an objection actually. And an objection is just a polite way of saying, no, I'm not going to buy today to you. And there are various reasons why people do that, and the objection is basically telling you exactly what that reason is. And in most of the cases, this is actually a limiting belief. So the people have certain beliefs that keep them from proceeding with you that are actually not true, and that is why you can handle them. So for example, when you walked, like you went through them on the entire call, you asked them loads of questions on their situation and understood exactly what the problem is, and you positioned yourself as a solution, and they can like clearly see the steps that are going to help you get them from where they are right now to where they want to be, and they have the reasons for why right now is trash and why where they want to be is good. Then it doesn't make sense to think about it once more to make a decision. And for example, think about it. I'm just going to go through the objection types right now. So there's think about it. And think about it is basically just it's a smoke screen, so it's not a real thing. And basically once you're through that, you can continue, then they're going to give you a real objection basically. And the reasoning is just okay, the first thing that you always want to do once you get an objection basically is you want to ask them something like, okay, perfectly fine. Just on the process right now, let's put whatever they said aside for a second. So, for example, they say, I have a partner or I don't have time. Let's put time aside for a second. Do you genuinely feel like if you implemented these systems that I talked about, you work with us, that you 100% get to whatever their goal was, 100K per month, 50K per month? Because that's the most important thing. That's always what you want to do, because with that, it's basically a temp check. And when they say yes, then it's just a logistical thing of figuring out their specific objection, right? And I will also maybe cover, maybe in a later video, like what you need to do when they say they're not actually confident. But provided that they are confident, then there's the following types of objections that you could have. And whenever they can't, you just ask that question that I just mentioned. And think about it is basically the reasoning is like, okay, what do you need to think about? Like, what's your main concern? Just in case I can help you out with that. When they're really hesitant, just say, can we forget we're on a sales call for a second and just have a honest conversation? Because, I know that we can help you, and I know that you want to ensure everything is perfectly fine, everything is right for you. And then you just ask them, like usually when people say they want to think about it, it's about money, partner, time, or they're just a bit fearful. Out of those options, which one is coming up? Just say I can genuinely help you out. And if they're super hesitant, they're not going to say anything, then you probably fucked something up in the discovery and they don't actually trust that you can help them because they're going to say something. And yeah, so that's basically the way you get around that. And then you're going to get one of the real objections. And the real objections are money, time, their partner. They have been burnt in the past, so they just have fear. But fear is just a combination of money, partner, time, and most importantly, of course, it's actually trust or value. It's literally just these few things. And trust or value is basically you just ask them, like when they're not 100% confident in the service, like what I already mentioned, is you just ask them, like, what specific part are you having the most doubts about? And then you basically just handle it that way. When they say they don't have the money, so basically when they give you any objection, like anything after you say the price, you're going to firstly ask them, money aside, do you think this is going to work? Because money or value are the first objections. So basically when you need to build off of, you need to build the objection of like the beliefs in a certain order, because when you handle their money objections but they don't think it's going to work, you just wasted time, right? And that's why you want to start with trust or the value of what you have. So do they think it's going to work? Then you go about, can they actually afford it, or is there a possible way for them to afford it? And when you have that, you're basically just going to get into, like, in case they have more objections, do they have the time? Is their partner fine with that? And when you have all of that, then they might just have, like, be a bit fearful and basically need just like another bit of confidence of just like, yeah, man, like we're going to help you. I know you've been burned by 3 other people in the past, but you see how this process is different. I completely understand it, but we're going to help you get like just some extra confidence. But fear objection is quite rare when you handle that properly, and it's mostly like the most like common thing is money, and when you're in a certain niche, probably partner objection. And reasoning behind money objection is basically, is it fine? Like you always ask the, like, let's put XYZ aside, do you think it's going to work? Of course, when they give you multiple objections, you don't need to ask that in exactly the same way. You just say, do you think the rest is fine and it's just this? Stuff like that. And then you ask them, okay, can we have a conversation about what's actually available for you right now? Then you basically ask them how much profit and revenue are they making. And then you ask what's in savings right now. And you can ask that because you just ask if it's fine if you have this conversation about that. And then they're going to tell you, and then you can offer a payment plan. When you don't do payment plans and they genuinely don't have the money, then the call is over at that point, of course. But if you do, then that's perfect. And then that, like this is literally it, how to handle money objection. Because when they understand the process and they trust you, it's literally just that. And before you suggest a payment plan, you always want to ask, like, do you, like, with everything I just mentioned? No, you say something like if we were able to make something work for you with the profit and revenue we have there, would you be good to get started today? Then they're going to think for some time, like, because it's a very direct question, sort of. And when they say yes, and then you suggest something, and then it works for them, they're probably not going to give you extra objections because they just said they would be good to get started today. And yeah, that's really powerful. Time objection is basically either they're going to say they don't have the bandwidth, and then you're going to figure out, okay, how much time do you spend currently solving the problem that you have? And they're going to say something with like 10 to 50 hours per day, per week, something like that. And then they're going to, you can basically say like, oh, when you work with us, you're only going to need XYZ amount. So would it help if I explain to you exactly what you need to do to get this fixed? Then you basically explain their steps, and then they're like, okay, I know that's reasonable. And if it's timing, so like the point in time, then you can basically try to figure out their reason that they have for delaying it, which is maybe some payment, maybe it's they're going to go on vacation, maybe there's some like it's Christmas time, like right now it's about to get to Christmas time, and then they're going to say, okay, no, the emails are not going to get that many replies, so that's really bad, or something like that. If something like that is happening, then you basically just want to ask, like, firstly, you want to see if the reason is valid, and if they're just going to think they don't have enough bandwidth, so basically they don't have like enough hours per week available, then you can get on that. And yeah, regarding the other things, you can just genuinely like try to figure out. And if it's something genuine, then you're just going to leave a deposit. You like make them pay you $50 or something, because when they say they genuinely want to do this, they have the money, and it's just the point in time. Then you're going to say, okay, cool, we can set everything up, and then just get started immediately when you're back from vacation. When like Christmas time is over, we're going to start with the volume immediately at that point. And when they have a deposit, then it's going to be way easier to get them as a client at that point. Partner objection, to be honest, in my space, like in the agency space, there are not that many people being partnered, so I didn't get that often in the past. So to be honest, it's a bit more difficult. Like, you want to understand, like, does their partner want that? What is their partner probably going to think? Are they involved in the business? Is it actually necessary for them to speak to them? It's a bit more complicated, and there are probably other people that can like handle that way better. And it's not like the key 10 minutes of a objection handling video, not how to handle partner objection in every scenario, I think. But yeah, fear objection is basically the way that you handle all of these objections, or most of them really well, by the way, is just by having a good discovery. Like, objection handling is the least important part of the call. It's still important that you have the skill, but the most important part of the call is that you understand exactly their situation, that you like ask all the questions that you need to make it clear for you what's going on in their situation, and then that you basically understand like where their problems are, and then in the pitch you just say all the things that they would need to get to where they need to be. and yeah, have a good pitch. It's going to help you so much more. 10 minutes are over.